we got some great news for the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are reuniting with the one and only Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is rejoining the New York Knicks, and the Pistons have traded Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks for Dennis Smith Jr. and a second-round pick. One day I'll let you start off first, but before you start off, I just want to say Derrick Rose will also be reuniting with the head coach that he has worked with the most, and his name is Tom Thibodeau. He has worked with Tom Thibodeau in Chicago. He's worked with Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota, and I believe he worked with Tom Thibodeau the first stint around in. I believe Tom Thibodeau did once coach once head coach the New York Knicks. I could be wrong. This could be his first time, but he's mostly known for coaching Derrick Rose in Chicago and Minnesota. So now I'll pass it on to you, Nate. Your thoughts on Derrick Rose rejoining with Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks?
Yeah, congratulations to Derrick Rose, Tom Thibodeau, and the New York Knicks. Derrick Rose is one of my favorite players in the NBA. And I'm surprised by the Knicks this year. Last year they were obviously one of the worst teams in basketball, and they've been like that for years now. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, Stephen A., but your team's absolutely terrible. But this year they haven't been all that bad. Obviously they're not obviously up there with other Eastern teams like the Nets, the Celtics, the 76ers, and whatever. But compared to last year, it's an improvement. With that said, though, Derrick Rose is definitely a veteran of the game, and I think having a veteran presence on the team isn't that bad. Help me out here, Mar. I know there's a couple of players on the top of my head that are on the team. I know Julius Randle's on the team. He's having a good year.
Right, yeah. Julius Randle is Taj Gibson. That's another guy that Derrick Rose is reuniting with because Taj Gibson was with him in Chicago too.
Right.
So Taj Gibson's going to be with him. They got RJ Barrett's not really a veteran, but he's there. Hang on a second, I got you.
My boy Obi, they're doing
there. Elfrid Payton, he's a veteran point guard. Mm-hmm. So they have some decent veterans on this team. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick Rose is obviously just going to add to it. Derrick Rose he's the youngest MVP in NBA history. When he was with the Chicago Bulls, he was an absolute stud. And it kind of upsets me as a Bulls fan that he's not reuniting with Chicago because despite how he's playing, I do want Derrick Rose back in Chicago wearing that number 1.
Right.
So, but that's not happening because he wants to join New York. But regardless of that, I want to wish New York Knicks congratulations because I think Derrick Rose is an upgrade from Devin Smith. Not Devin Smith, my bad.
Right.
He's an upgrade from Dennis Smith, my bad. Dennis Smith
right.
Jr. He's an upgrade from him. And again, there's one thing about this trade. I'll let you talk your point. That pick, exactly. I always say in that you never know what that pick can turn into, and if they cash in on this pick, then I think the Pistons won this trade. But again, the Knicks reunite with Derrick Rose. I hope he can become a better attribution to the New York Knicks rather than what he was with the Pistons. Because with the Pistons, I don't think he was that great of an attribution. With the Timberwolves, he was slowly starting to build up his career a little bit, I believe. It wasn't going back to the MVP form, but he was slowly building it up. And yeah, when he first left Chicago to go to New York, that was kind of the downfall. Like the downfall was already curing, but that kind of sealed the deal for Derrick Rose when he first joined the Knicks. But it's not too late for him, Derrick Rose to kind of transcend his career. He might not become that MVP like he used to. I can't see that happening. But what I can say is I hope Derrick Rose can become a bigger attribution to the New York Knicks than what he was with the Detroit Pistons. And with that being said, I wish Derrick Rose the best of luck in New York.
Right. And one thing, we all trash New York Knicks for being an absolutely terrible franchise, which, let's be honest, they're pretty bad. Not this year. Definitely an improvement from last year. But they still need to get that extra step. But one thing that the New York Knicks are really good at, that a lot of people don't realize, they're one of the best financial teams out there. Believe it or not. The New York Knicks, I think it's their net worth or whatever, something like that, something in relation to that. It's like $4 billion. So what that means, they're worth $4 billion. You know what's on their side, Mario? Cap space. The New York Knicks haven't been spending money at all these last few years. No. So you know what they can do now that they got Derrick Rose, they got all these other guys, and they're actually improving as a team. Something that they were supposed to do 10 years ago, but they didn't because it's James Dolan and the New York Knicks. They got all this money on their side. They have so much cap space that they can go out and probably get LeBron James. I'm not saying it's going to happen. So it's definitely not going to happen, but they could do that if that's what they wanted to, because they have all that money in the world to do it.
They got a lot of money, so they can get big stars. And I mentioned that too, because when we first heard about them not signing KD, Kyrie, right? We were thinking, we were like, they gave a max contract to Julius Randle. At first, we thought it was dumb, but then we were like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure correct me if I'm wrong. I think they have 2 max contract slots left, which means you
have like 2 or 3 of them.
Right, but you gave one of them to Julius Randle, which means if you had 3, it bumps down to 2, and even if you had 2, it bumps down to 1. So you can get a superstar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you have 2, you can get 2 superstars, and all of a sudden the Knicks are being talked about. You know what I'm saying? I thought personally they were going to get Giannis. I thought Giannis was going to join. I thought that was going to be a possibility. I thought it was going to be a possibility because I thought they were going to pair up Giannis with another superstar, and they were going to form with the Knicks. That's why I thought it could be a possibility, but it didn't happen. Giannis ended up re-signing one of the richest contracts in NBA history. But people who trash the Knicks, just remember, they have 2 open slots, 2 max contract slots. The Knicks can do whatever they want with it. If they want to get somebody, they will try to get them, and they will do anything they can. That's what they should be doing. If not, then James Dolan, something's got to be done with James Dolan, because I don't know what his plan is, but only time will tell. But right now we're talking about Derrick Rose in general. And I want to stick on that topic before we go off, of course. I believe Derrick Rose can attribute the Knicks better than what he did with the Pistons. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's really not. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is Derrick Rose to kind of build a little bit back up. He won't turn into an MVP. I don't think he'll ever get back to MVP stats. That's all I'm saying. But what I am saying is this. Okay? What I am saying is the Knicks are a fairly young team. They have RJ, who's promising. They have Quickly. Quickly is a very promising rookie. They have Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton's decent. They have Julius Randle, who's a very good player. He should be an all-star this year. He has all-star stats. Probably not going to make it, but regardless, he has all-star stats. Adding Derrick Rose can really become that piece that the Knicks are one of the pieces that the Knicks are missing, because let's be honest, they're missing a lot of pieces, but Derrick Rose might be one of the missing pieces. And if Derrick Rose can attribute more to the Knicks, then you can slowly start seeing the Knicks kind of build up. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I'll let you continue if there's anything else left you want to say. But I'm just going to end it with congratulations to Derrick Rose and best of luck to him in the New York Knicks.
Absolutely. And like I said before, congratulations to Derrick Rose. And I think this is an opportunity that the New York Knicks need to take to go out and find themselves a star. Like I said, you got all that money in the world. Like we talk about teams like the Lakers. They're very financial heavy franchise. They can go out and get whoever they want for however much they want. Same thing with the teams like the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're in the New York Yankees. They're financially heavy teams that can go out and get whatever player they want for whatever kind of money they got. But everybody forgets that the Knicks are that team too, despite them being garbage the last decade. They're still that team because of as much as I trash James Dolan, I gotta give him credit for one thing. He's a great businessman. I mean, it's pretty easy to get the Knicks the way the New York Knicks are worth. I mean, it's easy. I mean, you play in New York City, you're playing the Madison Square Garden. He owns another team, so I mean, he's getting money like it's nothing. I mean, so I here's what I want the Knicks to do. You got Derrick Rose. You got that veteran. Now I need the New York Knicks, and I want them to be successful. I feel so bad for Knicks fans. They got to sit around and be pained all day. I got to listen to Stephen A. Smith ranting about the Knicks every damn week. So here's what I want the New York Knicks to do. I want you to go out and get that star. I want these Knicks fans to be happy. All this money, use it to your advantage. Let's do it. You got Derrick Rose. Now you got to get another guy. Maybe a second one. I don't know. But that's what I want the New York Knicks to do moving forward. I want to see these Knicks fans happy. I don't like seeing people depressed, But with that said, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, this was one thing I forgot to mention. This will be the last thing, I promise. But the other thing about Derrick Rose's injury, too, that's always been it's always been haunting him for his whole career, is injuries. But if he can stay healthy, right, and they can keep Derrick Rose healthy and he can perform at a decent level, You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to say it one more time. He will not. I don't think he'll ever reach the MVP status again. But what I will say is Derrick Rose still has a little bit left in the tank, and if he can kind of control that and become a contributor, a very big a good contributor to the New York Knicks, then and the Knicks start slowly transcending, and they use that money to get some stars, then you can start talking about the Knicks as a playoff contender, or even a championship contender at that, depending on who they get. I don't think Derrick Rose is the answer, but I think he's part of it.
Absolutely. I agree. So with that said, congratulations to Derrick Rose, congratulations to the New York Knicks, and I wish them both the best of luck moving forward.